Today I'm reviewing the LG S90TR 7.1.3-Channel OLED Evo TV matching home theater soundbar with rear surrounds and a wireless subwoofer. If you want to check current pricing or availability, it's linked below. I've had this system set up in a living room paired with an OLED TV and used it for a mix of movies, streaming shows, gaming sessions, and music playback over a couple of weeks. This review reflects how it behaves in real viewing and listening conditions, not just headline specs. Let's set expectations clearly. This is not a separate home theater with independent amplifiers, dedicated center channel speakers, and large surround arrays hidden in walls. If you're chasing the absolute dynamics or deep low-frequency extension of a true multi-amplified, custom speaker system, that's a different tier of gear entirely. What this system is designed to do is deliver a more immersive, elevated audio experience than typical soundbars, with a relatively simple all-in-one package that includes rear surrounds and a subwoofer. In everyday movie viewing, the 7.1.3 configuration brings a noticeable sense of space. Effects that live behind or above you don't sound stuck inside a single bar. There's a broader sense of immersion than what you get from typical 3.1 or 5.1 bars. Dolby Atmos content feels expansive in a way that helps separate foreground action from environmental effects. Dialogue clarity is strong. Voices stay anchored and intelligible even in scenes with busy soundtracks or heavy effects. In practical use, I didn't feel I had to constantly adjust volume during conversations versus explosions, which makes watching films and shows more relaxing. The wireless subwoofer adds solid bass weight that fills the room. In my listening room, the lows were impactful without feeling loose or muddy. Music tracks with deep bass lines and movie scenes with rumble both benefited without overpowering the mids and highs. It's not earth-shaking in the way a large dedicated sub can be, but it feels well matched to the overall system. Adding the rear surround speakers is more than cosmetic. They broaden the spatial cues in both Atmos and non-Atmos mixes, giving ambient sounds and directional effects place and movement. For action content and certain music mixes, that translates into a livelier, more three-dimensional soundstage. Smart features like WOWCAST and WOW Orchestra simplify multi-room streaming and synchronization with compatible LG TVs. In everyday use, pairing and switching between TV audio and music streaming was stable and straightforward. I didn't run into awkward dropouts or control frustrations, which matters when you use the system across varied content. Noise handling is controlled. Even at lively levels, the system didn't show harsh distortion or uncomfortable upper-mid frequencies. That balance helps music and dialogue sit comfortably without fatigue during longer sessions. It doesn't disappear entirely at lower volumes. You can hear subtle dynamics, but it stays coherent. Now for limitations. If your primary focus is ultra-high fidelity music rather than home theater, you'll hear the difference compared with dedicated hi-fi separates. Music sounds engaging, but it's not as nuanced or rich as what a cost-equivalent stereo rig with bookshelf or floor speakers can deliver in a dedicated listening room. In very large rooms, the sense of width and depth doesn't scale as dramatically. It's more than a basic soundbar, but it doesn't replace a full custom surround install in open-plan spaces at household scale. Compared with simpler soundbars without rear speakers and subwoofers, the S90TR's additional components meaningfully widen the experience, but also mean a bit more setup and placement consideration. Rear channels benefit from thoughtful positioning rather than being shoved in corners. Who this makes sense for? Movie and streaming fans who want immersive Atmos effects without separates, rooms where multi-component soundbars with sub and surrounds fit naturally, users with compatible LG TVs who want seamless smart integration, viewers who value dialogue clarity and controlled room-filling bass where it might not be ideal. Buyers prioritizing pure high-fidelity music over home theater immersion, very large rooms needing discrete multi-speaker systems, those who prefer minimalist single-bar setups without extra boxes in everyday use. The LG S90TR feels like a thoughtful home theater-oriented package. It doesn't chase unrealistic flagship claims, yet it delivers a broader, more detailed soundscape than typical soundbars with sensible control and integration. Check current pricing below and evaluate it against your needs.